Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. As you could see, I'm doing something totally different. I finished my readings for April and I woke up this morning and I wanted to do a pick a card. So I don't actually know how other tarot readers do it. I haven't watched that many pick a card readings, but the way I did it was I just arbitrarily made 3 piles. So these are not, I haven't looked at any of these cards. I don't know what's in each pile. I'm pulling cards as if I'm doing regular readings, so not knowing what the cards are. But I have 3 piles here, and I'm going to do a reading regarding what's the current dynamic with your twin flame. So, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Welcome to my Sister Moon channel, and I do have some description below regarding if you want a personal reading. I have done some personal readings, but I haven't really advertised it in my channel because I've just been focusing on my YouTube. But if you do want a personal reading, my information is there, all right? So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. This is gonna be pile 1 and pile 2 and pile 3. So go ahead and take a look at the piles and see what resonates for you. And like I said, I'm going into this blindly, so I'm going to put the cards together in a story, but I don't have a story that's already out for each one. So this is regarding your current twin flame dynamic. I'm hoping the cards align and that it all makes sense. I'm using the same decks as I've used the Alice in Wonderland. I'm sorry, the Wanderer's Tarot, the Alice in Wonderland. I have the Aquarian Tarot deck over here. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started. This is gonna be pile 1 for those of you who chose this pile. The other thing is I'm not doing reversals in this reading, okay? So I'm going to remove these piles. So hopefully you remember this was pile 2 and this was pile 3, okay? So pile 2 I'm gonna put over to the left, pile 3 I'm gonna put over to the right. So like I said, no reversals. Very, very interesting. So I'm going to move this up a little bit so you guys can see. Okay. Just want to see what I have here. This is the 7 of Swords. Wow. Okay, guys. We got 2 7s in this. I feel like you guys have a lot of heartache around this situation already with the 3 of Swords, almost being like the center of the reading. Actually, wow. I've got 3 7s here. 7 of Wands, 7 of Swords, and 7 of Cups. So, I have actually, yeah. All right, so there's a lot of pain around this situation, a lot of struggle, a lot of confusion, I feel like, a lot of defensiveness, a lot of internal conflict, a lot of fighting, a lot of feeling like you have to strive for this person's attention, okay? Is the feeling I'm getting. I feel like you guys haven't been validated. And now the person I'm speaking to, the watcher of this, I did all these piles for twin flames. So I'm saying you guys are in a twin flame dynamic, but each one is a different dynamic, okay? So this hasn't been a very positive, uplifting experience. This hasn't been, I'm blindly looking at these cards. So I just want you guys to know I haven't created any story, but oddly enough, these cards have come together and told me a story, and that's what the cards do, and that's why they're so beautiful. So this is a very karmic situation, and I feel like your guys' twin actually might be involved in a karmic situation where they've been with a karmic partner, and this has been very heart-wrenching for you and confusing, and I feel like your twin has felt like they have a lot of options, and I feel like with the Empress here is that there's a lot here. This is my twin flame card. I love that it ended up in this reading, okay? It's super, super beautiful. you guys are coming through this situation. I feel like you guys have actually come into your Empress energy with all of the pain that has happened. But there's been a lot of enlightenment, and I think this has been on both sides. And some of you might be dealing with a fire sign. I have a Page of Wands here, a Knight of Wands. It could be a Sun, Moon, Rising, Sag, Aries, or Leo, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. It's just someone with a very passionate energy. I feel like through this heartache, you've kind of become enlightened and become more aware of the fact that you are the Empress, and you've really nurtured yourself and worked on yourself. And you see this Empress, she's just kind of like really, which is interesting because I have a bull here and that, but it's like you've become really strong in your core and knowing who you are. And you've had to really fight both with this twin flame, but also with yourself to overcome a lot. And there's been a lot of deception. But I feel like this situation has actually happened because you needed to become this Empress. And I feel like with your twin, which I am calling the Divine Masculine because I feel like most of the people that watch this are feminines, they've had to really be put in a precarious situation where they've had to look at themselves and really try to find answers and realize that they're not a victim, but that they have created a lot of situations, but also that karma has gotten them. And I feel like they've had a lot of conflict too that you're unaware of. And a lot of this is about them becoming evolved as well, you know, so they can become the Divine Masculine. Now, I feel like this karmic situation has been also kind of heartbreaking for them as well in a way, but they've made these decisions that they've had to live with and that they haven't necessarily been happy about, but they feel like it's been too late to turn back. Too late to turn back now. I believe. Okay. So I feel like they have gone through a lot of inner struggle. They're very they deceived themselves in thinking they made the right choice with this karmic partner, but I feel like it's actually caused an enlightening, an awakening within them. And I do feel like this situation, as painful as it is actually bringing you guys closer to your own evolving and also to your own union. So I do feel like it's been overall, this pile number 1 has been very painful, but I feel like it's been necessary lessons for both of you that you had to learn. Okay, so that's what I got. Beautiful cards that were all very synchronous. All right, so I'm gonna go to pile 2 here now for those of you who chose the second pile. Let's see what we have here. Prophet of Moons, 10 of Wands, King of Swords, interesting, Hierophant, Knight of Pentacles, 5 of Cups, Queen of Pentacles. Wow, okay. A lot of earth energy in this one. For those of you who chose this, maybe you're Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo, or you're dealing with a twin that is. Interesting, because the other one was all fire. So, and 2 5s here. Wow, a lot of change, a lot of transformation. A 5 of Pentacles and a 5 of Cups and a 5 of Wands and a Sun. So already I feel like this has been the second pile. Whew. Well, actually, it's interesting because I was going to say it's a lot lighter, even though we have the 10 of Feathers, but like this is supposed to be the 10 of Wands, but feathers are a lot lighter. Well, we do have the 5 of Cups here too, so maybe I spoke too soon. But with this pile, I'm getting a feeling that the people involved in this are very involved in, they've lived their life up until now on a very earthly realm. They've been kind of by the books. It could have been a Taurus that you're dealing with, Capricorn, Virgo. I mean, they're all the earth signs here. There's been a very way of living where it's not so spiritual, although Hierophant is spiritual, but I feel like this has been a very, the people involved in this have lived very in the material world, living in a material, I don't know why these songs keep popping up. And not very emotional, but with the Prophet of Moons, I feel like this situation, this dynamic has brought up emotions in people that weren't otherwise emotional. With the sun here, I feel like this is a Leo energy, but it's also a very childlike energy. And I feel like you guys can feel like you are kind of have that like inner child connection. This could be someone that reminds you a lot of your inner child, or you could have past life connection, even though the sun doesn't signify that, but it does signify an inner child. I also feel like if this is a connection that you guys have been steadily working on it, but it's been very slow moving. With the 2 5s, I feel like there's also been a lot of unexpected changes here and pain and emotions where you've had to, you know, the Prophet of Moons is like, it's like Prophet of Cups, and it's sort of like learning to harness your emotions. It's almost kind of like a Queen of Cups or a King of Cups. So I feel like this has been a lot about, this dynamic has been a lot about coming to terms with your own like emotional state and things that bring you pain, and learning how to navigate that with each other, and also learning how to build things together, but also finding the balance with this King of Swords of like using rational thought. And so it's sort of like integrating all of the different parts of you. This dynamic has forced you to sort of look at a lot of different parts. I do feel with the sun too, there's been illumination. I feel like there's been truths that this has made you uncover about yourself and about your twin flame and your partner that have been very clear, but also could be very heavy. With the 10 of Wands, I feel like this has also been a very, the sun also might be telling me that you guys need to have more fun with each other. I feel like this has been sort of heavy, and this has been sort of boring a little bit with all these pentacles and then the 5 of Cups and heavy, and like maybe to have more fun, find more joy, do more happy things. If there's like a battle within yourself about wondering, is this my twin flame or is this not? I feel like this is kind of you having to be more simplistic about this and stop like analyzing it so much. Also with the sun, I feel like you guys are building something sturdy and stable, and there also could be a marriage sometime soon here with this situation. So I do feel like with this situation, you're less heartache. You guys have been on this journey more so together, but it's just about learning how to balance each other out and be more like emotional when it's appropriate, or more lighthearted when it's appropriate, or more, serious when it's appropriate. So that's kind of the message I'm getting for this one. All right. And last but not least, I'm going to do the 3rd pile. Nine of Pentacles, Ace of Feathers, which is like Ace of Wands, Judgment, interesting, Ace of Cups, wow, Knight of Swords, Ace of Wands again, okay guys, King of Swords, Knight of Swords, and the Hermit, wow. So I feel like this twin flame situation has been something that has been, you guys haven't been together, but there's going to be a turning point, and you guys are actually on the verge of a union. This is very interesting. There's an Ace of Wands, an Ace of Cups, an Ace of Wands. There's a lot of love here, a lot of passion, a lot of words that have been said. And there's also been a period of independence where you guys weren't together with this 9 of Pentacles and the Hermit. You guys have been on solo journeys as of now. But I feel like with these 3 aces that you guys are upon a new beginning. A lot of love offering, passion. 2 Knights of Swords. You guys, I literally did not look at the cards that I put in this. This is crazy. But some of you really, this is very interesting because my first pile was fire, my second pile was earth, and this is air. I did not plan this at all. It's very bizarre. But with these two Knight of Swords and a King of Swords, I feel like your masculine in this situation is most likely a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. Or this is a dynamic where communication is key to having these new beginnings. This is the lightest of the piles, okay? There's going to be a new start. There's a lot of passion here. There's a lot of love here. There's also balance here. I feel like you guys have been on this journey where you've been really looking into your inner world. And I feel like with the Judgment, there's been a lot of breaking points where you've gotten past the worst of it, really. Like you're almost at the end here where you're about to start your new beginning. I think you've graduated from the Knight of Swords to the King of Swords to where you're no longer just like impulsively flying into a situation, but you're being very diplomatic. You're a lot more wise at this point. You're a lot more in control of your thoughts and your communication. I do think in the past there's been a lot of like impulsivity and kind of like starting beginnings before they were really ready to start. But I feel like now you guys really are ready. I feel like there might be sort of a new way of trying to integrate the fact that you've been very independent and now there's going to be a love offering. So some of you might actually be very surprised by this because you thought you were kind of alone and now this person's coming forward with love. But I don't think it's going to be, it's like the Ace of Cups is here, but there's still a lot of air quality. So I feel like it's important to keep it very, a little bit detached still, you know, because this is not a dynamic where you guys want to be entrenched in each other. Yes, you could be twin flames and each other's other half, but you don't have to be, you know, mushy gushy. There's not many Cups cards here other than the Ace of Cups, and there's still a lot of air energy, which to me signifies detachment. So, yeah, this is a really interesting, 3 aces. I mean, this is a new beginning, and with the Judgment, it's really like a turning point. So that's what I have for you guys. Thanks for tuning into my first pick a pile, and so glad to have you, and I'll see you guys next time. Okay, bye.